Hi guys, AzureAce here and I am back with another Danganronpa 3 Future Art episode discussion where today I'll be covering the most crazy and sad episode we've had yet. Episode 9, You Are My Reason to Die. This episode was just... I don't know what to say about it in all honesty. You can tell that I'm kind of a little bit taken aback by it. Usually I'm a bit more upbeat sounding than this, but you can tell that this episode was something. But this episode definitely left me in tears. This episode left me speechless. This episode was just unbelievably packed from start to finish with confirmations to theories we've had, victims to the killing game, and just so much more. So let's just stop talking and get right into it. The episode begins with a Monokuma recap, so right off the bat, you guys know that something big is going to happen in this episode. I'm not going to recount the recap because you guys already know what happens, and if you don't know, you can check my playlist of all my episode discussions for Danganronpa 3 thus far in the description below. But I do want to mention, there's a theory going around that Asahina is actually Chisa, and that she changed her appearance with the help of the super high school level makeup artist who appears in Danganronpa 0. And in this recap there's evidence to suggest that, because when talking about Togami, Monokuma calls him Glasses McDorkface, which is actually a line that Asahina uses a lot. After the recap, we see the aftermath of the collapsed building, and we first of all see that Hagakure is in fact still alive, but that's all. We don't really see anything from Togami and the others in the building. We switch to Ruruka and Sakakura in the building, and it's violently shaking, with Sakakura opening the exit door, and if you guys guessed this was a fake door, you were correct, as this also confirms the theory that they are underwater in the building that's underneath the water, as he goes into a room that's out facing the ocean. After the opening, we switch to Ryota and Kirigiri. Ryota asks if it was a good idea to leave the door behind even if it was real, and Kirigiri says it was, and concludes that the reason why they can't get out of the facility is that they are indeed underwater. She says that camouflaging something major like the facility is also easy, and mentions how Sonosuke's dagger mark was no longer in the door, and says that as of right now, Munakata is the likely culprit, as he is the one who constructed this building from the start, so there's no way he wouldn't notice the differences. We switch again to the fight with Munakata and Mekogahara, as I like to call her now, and man, if she beat up to hell and back, as she screws her eye back in and switches to elimination mode, where she gets these rockets and knives and so much in her arsenal now. She fires rockets at Munakata, but he dodges them and slices off one of her legs, making her fall and explode. We get this whole speech from Munakata about how he wants to, kill Despair and blah blah blah, even though he's the one that looks like he's becoming Despair. We then see this kind of naked corpse of Mekogahara stripped of all its outer shell, revealing a small console that has information on everyone on it, and we get a couple more NG codes confirmed, as Great Gozu's NG code was that he cannot be pinned to the ground for a 3 count, and that Chisa's NG code was straight up that Munakata cannot die, where he then slices right through Mekogahara, making Miao Mekogahara our 8th victim to this killing game. And not our last of the episode either. Sakakura then appears behind Munakata, reuniting with him. We switch back to Kirigiri and Ryota, as she says that she wants to look out for Naegi and the others, and surprisingly enough, Ryota says that he won't be able to help, which is awfully weird of him since he idolised Naegi beforehand. Kirigiri goes on the whole speech about how Naegi is a really strong person and that he would do anything to help his friends, even if it meant putting them before himself, as well as the fact that she believes in him, whereupon Ryota looks behind her and so does Kirigiri, as we see Asahina and Naegi behind them, and Naegi's blushing, and it's actually really nice to see that. They then go to a room and somehow find a bunch of food supplies and such, as they speak about the situation, and Naegi says that since Togami's not there yet, it's likely that he is the one to blame for it, saying that someone is going to die because of him. Kirigiri asks if Munakata said something to him, and Naegi goes on about how powerless he is to stop any of this, and that his words are useless, and maybe Munakata was right after all, and Kirigiri does something just utterly amazing. She takes off her glove. Now to the outside this might not seem like much, but Kirigiri only takes her glove off for people she is really close to, and she puts her hand on top of his and gives him a whole speech about how his hope is the best hope there is and that he became her hope, and it's just so adorable and brilliant to see this ship flourish. We switch to see Munakata and Sakakura walking in the hallways, and we're starting to see a bit more emotion in Sakakura. We see he's concerned for Munakata's health and well-being. It's nice to see this because it's just showing that he doesn't just try to beat his way out of his problems. He also tells him that the attacker got Kimura, Izayoi and Kizakura as well, and does honestly seem a little downhearted by it. He seems sad that they're gone now. Munakata also tells Sakakura that Tengen is gone too because he killed him, and you can really tell that Sakakura is at odds with Munakata's plans. You can tell that he wants to, trust Munakata and trust what he's doing is right, but at the same time you can tell he's like, is he really right? Do I really agree with him? Do I really want to go through what he's going through with? And then Munakata goes on about his ideals, how Sakakura, Chisa were always there for him since the start, and ever since that day those ideals have stuck with him. And then Sakakura says there's something he wants to tell Munakata, and as he's about to tell Munakata, he says enough. He takes out his katana, walks towards Sakakura, and stabs him right through the chest as Sakakura does that muted speech thing that Tengen did. As Juzo Sakakura becomes our 9th victim of this killing game. Now something I want to mention that's interesting is that Munakata used his molten heat blade thing. Now if you know about like chemistry and stuff, when a wound is treated with heat, it cauterizes the wound, allowing it to burn the skin, stopping any major bleeding or infection. I also wonder what Juzo said. Did he say he killed Chisa? Did he say he loved Chisa? We're likely to never find out now, but it seems like Munakata had already known what he was going to say before even saying it, and he's going to continue on this bloodbath massacre that he's going on. We switch back to Naegi's group, and it seems they're going over all of their NG codes and all the codes of the others who have been killed, as Naegi also tells them of Tengen's fate and that he left a message behind for Naegi, or rather they think they left behind a message for Naegi. It might have been for someone else. And one thing I want to point out again is that, and I've mentioned this in previous discussions, Ryota has a very firm grip of that phone still. He is so obsessed with that phone. What purpose does it serve? Is it a part of a bigger picture? Is he really involved in the Mastermind's killing game? Or is it a part of Zenji code? Because right now, Ryota, Munakata and Kirigiri are the only ones without 100% confirmed NG codes. Well, that's not going to last very long. Ryota says he can't keep, and then it cuts off, so can he not keep what? Can he not keep up the disguise of hope? Is he really a despair all along? Or is that message from Tengen directed at Ryota? Who knows? I hope these questions can get answered. We switch to Ruruka, who's alone, saying that Sakakura deserved to die, as she actually listened to it happening, and my god, this makes me hate her even more. Sakakura was turning into a good character. I started to like him. She's so damn selfish, she only cares about herself. She also says that everyone betrays you in the end. We get a flashback as we see Sonosuke closing the bookcases over so no one finds the door, setting traps all over the room, and he sits next to her and she asks him not to betray her as she gets close to him and starts kissing him, and this, oh my god, she had a piece of candy in her mouth as she passed over to Sonosuke, setting off his NG code, saying that she doesn't want him to betray her, so she'll betray him first. And he still continues to kiss her despite what she did, and even says that it isn't a betrayal and that he loves her. This man, Sonosuke, didn't deserve this. Ruka did not deserve someone as loyal and as great as Sonosuke was. We get back to the present and she's barricading up a door with rocks and stuff, and you can clearly see she has blood in her hands. This might be symbolising the fact that she has so much blood in her hands, Sonosuke, Kimura and Kizakura's blood. You can tell she's starting to go a bit insane and maybe even be driven into despair, because she's going on about how she isn't lonely and she can just make new friends and such, and that she will never ever die. We switch back to Naegi's group as they're barricading their own door, and it's funny because Naegi and Ryota can't push the locker or whatever it is, but Asahina can with ease. And now guys, it's almost the time limit as Kirigiri says, and then she says that no matter what happens, even if she's not there with him, he'll win and she'll always be by his side as the time limit jingle goes off, sending them all to sleep. We fade in and see the Monokuma knife, and who is the victim? Ruruka Ando has become our 10th victim of this killing game, and this is very odd because it's nothing like we've ever seen before. She's stabbed in the heart like the others that have been killed by the sacrifice, but she's not strung up, she's on the floor, and she looks like she's been pretty mutilated. She's got cuts all over her leg, her clothes have been torn to shreds, there's candy all around her and stuffed in her mouth, her eyes are blood red. As much as I wanted Ruruka to die for everything she did in this anime, I didn't expect her death to be this horrific, so it did kinda take me aback. One thing many people are noticing that her death resembles Nagito's death in Super Danganronpa 2 a lot, with, you know, the cuts on her leg and such. I personally don't buy it, but I see where they're coming from. We switch to Naegi's group and they all wake up and they're all fine. Well, that's what we thought anyway. As we see Kirigiri and we see her face and it's purple and her eyes bleeding, her NG code has been set off. They all rush over to her and Naegi checks her NG code, and everyone, her NG code is that she cannot pass the 4th time limit with Makoto Naegi still alive. This is what Monica meant. This is how Naegi's actions was going to kill one of his classmates, which I mean guys, Kyoko Kirigiri has regrettably and heartbreakingly become our 11th member to die at the hands of this killing game. I don't know what to say, to be honest. This moment right here brought me to tears, it really did. I didn't expect it at all. Asahina's crying, Naegi's crying, and Ryota's very much taken aback. We see her notebook underneath her, which I'm pretty certain is going to come into play in the next few episodes. Also, when they're rushing over to her, you can actually see a very small pill bottle roll past Asahina that looks very similar to the Cure W bottle that we saw Kimura had before her death. So will that come into play here? I personally hope not. As much as I love Kirigiri, as much as I want her to, you know, come back and stay alive, I don't. We're only just now 9 episodes into this, had a death with some real emotional weight to it. If Kodaka were to bring her back and, you know, pull this fake out that like he did with Asahina, that would be a complete cop out. But anyway, we then hear Munakata come onto the mic from the monitoring room and he starts making fun of her death, asking Naegi if he sees how useless his words are and that it's time to settle whose hope is right, his or Naegi's, as he looks up with that determined look he's always had, tears in his eyes, as the episode ends there. Well now I guess it's time for my overall thoughts of this episode. Well, what can I say that I haven't already said? This episode was just stupid, honestly. 4 victims all in the one episode. We had Ruruka, we had Mekogahara, we also had Sakakura, who I don't think is dead yet, to be honest. I think he's still alive. I still think that wound has been cauterized. And also, obviously, the most important one of the episode, Kyoko Kirigiri, the ultimate detective, one of the best characters from Danganronpa 1, is now dead. So, yeah, that was kind of heartbreaking, but I guess we're probably just gonna have to move on with that. I honestly think, just with the way this whole, you know, outlash again, or backlash against this whole killing Kyoko thing, I really think Kodaka's probably going to bring her back because fans win over the creators if they complain enough. I personally don't want to see her back, but you know, we saw death lags from miles away. As soon as she said that whole speech about how Naegi can move on without her, we knew, yep, she's done. It was kind of the Asahina situation all over again, except this time it looks like Kodaka's gonna follow through with it. I just hope that Munakata gets his retribution for everything he's done in this series, for basically becoming the ultimate despair. But anyway, this was a brilliant episode for By the Heartbreak and Despair. It's definitely left me in despair, I tell you that. But that's all for the video, as now we only have a tiny 5 survivors remaining. Makoto Naegi, Kiyosaki Munakata, Ryota Mitarai, and Aoi Asahina, as well as our mysterious 16th member. But nevertheless, if you guys like this video, please leave a like and a comment in the comment section below. Share this amongst your friends. I've been AzureAce, and thank you for coming to the video.
It is I, Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans, and you're watching AzureAce. Subscribe for more content like this one.